Hey, this is Mark at the Action Figuratorium, and when I started my YouTube channel, at first I just used it as a spot to archive my Twitch shows, which is essentially me here in the studio doing photographs, kind of a fly on the wall cam going, that sort of thing. And so it was just sort of a library. And after a while I started making traditional YouTube videos and I quit archiving my Twitch shows, even though I still do them. However, today I'm going to upload a 15-minute clip from one of the last ones I did, just to kind of keep the spirit of the live in the studio thing going. But because I realize it's extremely boring, I'm going to be doing a commentary with little picture-in-picture on top of it, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so this clip here, if I can find it, is from when I was doing my first episode of Get in the Ring. Get in the Ring is this concept where you take two action figures or figures and you put them in a wrestling ring and you give them some goofy weapons and I don't know, you just see if any kind of photographic magic happens. So this is essentially a shot of, or a series of a couple cams of me in the studio here, setting up the first Get in the Ring. All right, so what we're looking at is there's the ground is construction paper, and there's construction paper as the background. There is a wrestling ring that is there you go. There is a wrestling ring that I picked up from an online auction, and it's for 6-inch figures, which is pretty good size for most things. I do have a smaller ring as well for minifigures. I'm shooting with a Panasonic GH3, does 1080. The next step up, the GH4, will do 4K. That'll be my next purchase. I hope to be several years behind on these Panasonic cameras. That is a goal of mine, and with your help we can meet that goal. So what else is going on here? There is lighting in this shot, believe it or not. There is an overhead light for the ring to give it that kind of WWE or boxing match look of the really bright overhead lights. There is a light on the background. It is another one of these Rhea light sticks. I reviewed these previously, and in the review they last about an hour. They take 3 hours to charge. They've got a range of different colors, and overall they're just a cool handheld action figure light that everyone should have a pair of. Also have remote control, and the first day of doing pics, I spent 2 days with these guys, if you can imagine that. It's just something new though. So the first day, the remote controls work great. There was one for each of them, and sometimes if you get too close with one, it will turn off the other and vice versa. But these things were working great, and then the second day they were just kind of weak. Only one kind of worked, and not when you wanted it to. So I've got the wand in the background there, and I'm using it to sort of backlight the figures in the ring as well as the wall. But really what's kind of cool here is there's a smoke machine on the left side of the screen there, and when the smoke machine goes off, it pumps a little bit of smoke that actually ends up making the textured background. You don't necessarily see smoke like the way you'd see dry ice fog, like it's a physical thing on the ground. You don't see that, but you do see the lighting effect of the smoke. And that is kind of what I'm selling with these shots, is a sort of psychedelic background. It's always a texture that's a little different each time that the smoke machine goes off. And so what you do is you sort of frame up a character, you line up your shot, you try to get the eyes about, the upper third or so, and then you pick color on the wand, and you just sort of see what you get when the smoke goes off. And what I like about that smoke machine is that it heats up, right? And if you press the button, it will go off. But a lot of times it will just sit there building up heat until it just randomly shoots out a puff of smoke. And I kind of like that because it sort of makes you have to go. It forces you to start shooting. You kind of need a deadline. I'd also like to take this moment to tell people to check out my Instagram account. If you haven't seen it before, it's where the pictures I take here end up. Of course, what we're watching are scenes from my Twitch live show to kind of show you what it looks like. And if you're on Twitch or you want to be sort of a fly on the wall and see someone in the studio working, you should definitely go over to Action Figuratorium on Twitch and check that out. And I do, of course, post musings on Twitter. I'll put up pictures there, but I'll post links to videos. I'll sometimes comment on other people's stuff if I see something kind of fun or cool. So don't be afraid to look up Act Figuratorium on Twitter. If you're one of those Twitter folk, you follow along. I would love to entertain. So back to the action here. What the hell is this? So you can see I have taken the ropes, which are just rubber bands, and pulled them back so I can get the camera in. I'm shooting with my favorite Canon lens. It's the lens that came with the EOS 30D, which is a camera I started on. It was gifted to me by a friend who's much further along than I am. And I thought it'd be a great starter cam. I've gotten rid of the camera. I kept the lens though. The lens is it's like a 30 to 80 or so zoom lens. So it's not quite a long lens, but you can. It's not quite a wide lens. It's a good sort of push in on a character lens. It's great for sort of upper body. I like it for that. It also looks like photography when you're taking pictures with it. You can, you get a certain quality that's different than what you get with like a phone nowadays. It has a certain the way its focus point gives you a real 3D image in that spot, and everything else is nicely tucked away. These figures came out great with that lens, and what I'm doing here is I'm putting a guy as far back into the ring as I can towards the post to try to give you that sort of like the look that movies have when they do boxing films. Like they're trying to show you that guy who's sort of an island all the way to the back, and he's about to get boxed. And these are kind of boxing shots. If you look at movies like Raging Bull and how they did kind of the camera work there. So this shot here, it looks like I'm framing up looks like two figures at once. I think they're like swinging chairs at each other, because I thought that would be kind of funny if the Minotaur and the Rhino Man were sort of really going all at it, and wrestling style chairs, and who knows what else. Refrigerators, appliances would be funny. I don't know, maybe if I have some bigger characters in the next one, maybe we can bring out some swinging trees or something like that. On these get in the ring sort of compositions, I'm trying to avoid actually bringing in wrestling action figures, even though that would be kind of funny too if you start doing tag teams and one of them's like a wrestler or something like that. I thought that the Rey Mysterioso figure in sort of the pink pants and pink luchador mask with the pink and white Gwenpool would be kind of a cool team. That may have actually been sort of what got me into this concept of getting in the ring. Look at how great the background light works with this really simple sort of ring. And then the smoke, I think is great when it's in the background. I don't really like the shots where the smoke overcomes the focus and the detail, and it just, you know, makes it look sort of cloudy without purpose. But I imagine that if I put a background of people in and maybe backed out a bit so as to make it look like we're in an environment rather than close on to combatants, that maybe the smoke in the ring might look really cool as sort of diorama ambient effect. I don't know, but it's definitely worth using smoke all the time, though, if you have colored wands like I do and you can move them around and uplight the smoke. I think that's a home run on just anyone can make a cool looking shot, as I'm able to demonstrate on some of my really mediocre shots that end up just having a kind of feel to them by just putting two different opposing colored, you know, blue and a red one on either side, and, you know, letting them blend together. So that with a little bit of smoke, in my opinion, is always going to be like a home run. How much time is left in this trash is what I'm wondering. All right, there's like about 5 minutes left in this clip. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way to the end. This is truly some boring video, even with the commentary that itself is pretty dry. This is pretty tough to watch. So if you think that this is a great advertisement for my Twitch channel, what you need to know is that when someone's doing it live, you type in and you can say, "Hey man, what's that thing on the right there that you've got, you know, over this thing?" And then I'll see that and I'll reply, and it could be fun to interact with people who are doing this in real time. That's my hope, is that this would be fun for people to see me doing this in real time and, you know, smoking up a wrestling ring, and and then react to people, you know, saying like, "Yeah, why don't you know, throw this goofball in there, throw that guy, or why don't they hit each other with skateboards?" I think that's great, skateboards as weapons. That will that's like an entire different episode. What we got going on here? Very red looking. At first, when I was doing these, I was trying different colors in the backgrounds with each character. So like the rhino, there was one with blue and light blue and dark blue and red and green and purple and stuff like that. And then after a while, I realized that each guy should really kind of, you know, I was looking to see which one would look best, but I realized that each guy should be themed and should have his own color. And the rhino man, since he's in that blue gold armor, right, he's clearly the blue guy. And the minotaur, who is in no particular color armor but is brown with some black and silver armor on, then he's going to be, I guess, the red guy. And in one of them, I think I have the orange spatula in the rhino's hand, which color-wise would look better in the hand of the minotaur. I think where they got the two giant frying pans, I think I got their colors right, to where the guy who's supposed to be red is orange, the guy who's supposed to be blue is blue. However, those shots, the frying pans are so huge that they look dumb. They just look like toys holding giant, you know, irons, rather than like two guys fighting it out, which is a problem with some of these shots I took. Like they don't really look like figures fighting. They just look like figures posed with dumb things in their hands, and it wasn't really working in this case. But other times, like the chairs look good, the weapons where they have the cat o' three tails and the giant sort of, I don't know, space axe kind of thing, those are particularly kind of cool. The one where he's holding the dumbbells is kind of cool, even though it's not really in his hand, it's just behind it. It looks like he's kind of flexing for no reason. I think that's kind of fun. I like that one. But like the ones with the flowers look terrible, and I thought maybe I have a couple of cameras, maybe they could fight with cameras. It just didn't work with these characters. I think you need guys that you can like pose them with, to be holding the cameras at each other. I think that would be really funny. So we're going to hold off on cameras till another episode of Get in the Ring, which could be this week, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's not tomorrow, I don't know. It's a lot of fun, pretty easy to do. What I got going on here is like a lot of smoke, a lot of red light, a couple of figures up, kind of, one fellow, kind of cheese. Also like to point out that both these figures that are in this video are for sale on, they are for sale on eBay right now. Buy it now, $9.99, free shipping. If you mention that you watch the show in the notes in eBay when you pay, I will include for you a very special tchotchke of some sort, of thank you from me to you. Signed card as well, but also a tchotchke. I don't want you to get the signed card and think that that's the, no, you get a little thing, a little trinket or something. I'll find something. There's like a little magic Frodo guy or some sort of Lego minifig that could end up in it, you know, possibly worth more than the item itself. Might be the case, might not be the case, but these guys are both for sale, and you can just also look me up as Coolbots with a Z on eBay. Check out my toy auctions. I will also announce once a month what items I have up for sale. I just started listing the ones that I listed for March. I'm just now starting to post those, and it's going to be exciting. There's a lot of fantasy figures, of course. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of look into Action Figuratorium, the Twitch show, which is my live show, and I usually have a little music jukebox going, and I answer questions that people put in the chat. And so if you like watching into this kind of thing, stop on by Twitch, Action Figuratorium on Instagram, and Act Figuratorium on Twitter. With that, I will see you guys on